or chapter 38, Hezekiah's illness. In those days, Hezekiah became ill and was at the point of death. The prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz, went to him and said, "This is what the Lord says: Put your house in order, because you are going to die. You will not recover." Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and prayed to the Lord. "Remember, O Lord, how I have walked before you faithfully and with wholehearted devotion, and have done what is good in your eyes." And Hezekiah wept bitterly. Then the word of the Lord came to Isaiah. "Go and tell Hezekiah, this is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says: I have heard your prayer and seen your tears. I will add 15 years to your life, and I will deliver you and this city from the hand of the king of Assyria. I will defend this city. This is the Lord's sign to you that the Lord will do what he has promised. I will make the shadow cast by the sun go back the 10 steps it has gone down on the stairway of Ahaz." So the sunlight went back the 10 steps it had gone down. That's amazing. Okay, so if you ever seen a sundial, or you look down at your shadow. Okay, so you know how wherever you are on the earth, right, your shadow it goes from one direction to the other, period. It goes from one direction to the other throughout the day. And depending on how, like, if you're directly under the sun, like on the earth, it might be like just straight underneath you, and then it'll go to the other side or go to one of the sides of you, from one side to the other. He said the shadow will go back. How is that possible? With our knowledge, with what we think of as science, not possible. But with the Lord, all things are possible. This isn't the first time he had done something like that. Remember when the Israel was in battle, and you know who the person is? Put them in the comments. As long as their hands were raised to the Lord, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. The staff was raised, that Israel won. Israel would win and continue to conquer. And what did that person ask for? I believe it was Joshua. Oh man, I just answered it. Okay. What did he say? He asked for the Lord, for the sun to hold still, and the Lord granted that wish. That granted that request. The Lord granted it. And okay, so also about this. So Hezekiah, yes, he did all these things. And this is a pause, because I want to go back, because to understand, you're like, and I did originally too, because Hezekiah was someone who, yes, did definitely follow the Lord. He got rid of the other God, they were worshiping other gods and stuff. He got rid of all of that. But he did something. And it doesn't tell us right here what he did. But if we go back to Chronicles, it does. So if you go back to that, the book of Chronicles, Second Chronicles in particular, it tells you about it in Second Chronicles 32, about how he kind of started doing some things near the end, for a time, where he didn't really, he got prideful himself. And because he was doing these things, worshiping the Lord was blessing him, right? And so those riches and the good times were, the saying is going to someone's head. So in this case, he was like more marveled at the things that he was collecting, that was increasing his pride in his heart, and not really understanding that it comes from the Lord. So not being grateful, not understanding. And so that's why this happened, because the Lord saw it. He was like, So a little reminder had to happen. And Hezekiah, so it was like a test. One can consider it a test, one can consider it a trial, one can consider it a consequence, because these are things that he was doing: prideful arrogance, starting to not worship the Lord, starting to just rely on himself, and something could have happened, and then boom, he got ill. And so what did he do? He humbled himself. He said, you know what? He asked for forgiveness. And he prayed to the Lord. And what happened? Lord heard him. Here comes Isaiah the prophet saying, Lord heard you. This is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to do. Pray. Bring past to present. Pray. Pray to the Lord. Give your woes to the Lord. He already sees. Sometimes he wants to hear it from us. He wants for us to act. He wants for us to say, Lord, take these woes from me. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?